Welcome to Holy Fuck. Holy Fuck. Holy Fuck. Two gals on the prowl for enlightenment, sex, and all things holy. Holy Fuck. Each week, beauty alchemist and transformational coach and speaker, Katherine McClelland, and spiritual healer and life coach, Krista Kim, discuss navigating spiritual consciousness in a real human body. Stumbling through dating, relationships, and everyday life, all while maintaining a fucking sense of humor. Well, awesome. So welcome, everyone. My name's Krista Kim, and I'm with
Katherine McClelland.
Yeah, and we're here to just have fun with you and get weird with spirituality and see where this goes. And we would like to say we have a fantastic topic, but we're going with the no topic because that's how we roll some days.
Yeah, today we have no topic. And I think that I'm going to tell you guys, so there's no hiding here, that I'm a minister. I'm a reverend. I please ask you never to call me that. But I am one. Don't use that word on me.
Yeah. And I want you to know I am not. I am not a reverend. I'm just me. Normal,
I'm just me too.
Everyday person, you know.
She's got the deep spirituality and love that it takes to just be a human being who feels themselves and their spirituality. She just doesn't have a title.
I don't have a title.
She didn't have to stand in front of a bunch of people and talk about things all the time.
Well, yeah, it does take a certain type of person who can do that. So I honor you for your role, how you've been standing up in the world.
Thank you, honey. You know, we should probably tell them about how much we have this little story in the background about how women are standing up because it's their time. Women are sharing their spirituality and their love because it's their time. It's our time. And somehow the portal has been opened across time and space because we don't actually believe in time and space, right, Krista?
No, no time, space.
Okay, we don't believe in time and space.
Space-time. Do you know
space-time? But
so
not
time-space means linear time, very third-dimensional, what we're doing here on this earth. But when you flip it and move into space-time, meaning you believe there's more space than there is time, that's when you leap into the quantum.
I like it.
That's all the new stuff I'm studying these days.
Okay, well, you keep bringing that because I like that space-time. I was talking more like I sometimes see time as an accordion, like it goes it goes side to side, so it can fold and it can open. So I feel like sometimes there are realities happening all at the same time across the universe, and we might be able to tap into different ones at different times, but they're very, very real when we tap into them. So I'm not sure how I feel about the whole past life thing. Like, did it really happen in the past, or is it really happening simultaneously? I don't know. I do know it's real.
It's all happening simultaneously.
You think so?
Because if there's no time, then it kind of has to be.
Okay, that's where we stand.
But for some reason in space-time, we've been brought together to create this podcast. And we always have so much fun chatting on the phone as girlfriends and classmates and powerful women in the world. So it's fun to be here with you today and capture what comes out of our mouth as it's happening in real time.
It gets pretty bad sometimes, so just bear with us.
We're talking about women stepping up and into their power and their spirituality. And obviously that's a big topic between the two of us. But as we do that, as you and I have noticed even over the last couple of weeks of talking about creating this podcast and who we are as healers and mothers, and we've bumped up against a lot of our edges, how we feel comfortable speaking out in the world. This morning was the perfect example of that, right?
Absolutely. Holy fuck, we're going to call ourselves Holy Fuck.
Can we really call our podcast Holy Fuck?
Can we really do that? Just because everybody loves it? Is that a good enough reason to do it? No, we should do something really boring.
Yeah, and that's the battle, like how to be authentic and step up and share like our truth.
And we are authentic. Right. I'm sorry, I just talked right over the top.
That's okay. No, I was just saying unapologetically.
Okay. So unapologetically is a great word, except I'm probably going to apologize all the time.
Well, isn't that part of the process? We want to be who we are, but then we find ourselves apologizing for who we are. And then the next day we step more fully into who we are, and then we might apologize. It's the accordion.
It is. It's and the universe, right? It just reflects exactly who we are. So we expand and we contract and we expand and we contract. You know what, Krista, what you just said made me think of something, because I really want to make this super clear from the beginning. So just because we are women doesn't mean we don't believe that the only way we're going to make this whole life thing work is if we find a way to include men, and not like include them like our helpers, like they're our partners, like they are the best other part of us that we have. We want men to know that we stand for them, that we see that most of them are powerful, amazing people. And we also know that some women are crap too. And we don't want to be pretending that men have a worse way of behaving in the world than women do. We just want to stand for the best in both of us.
Absolutely.
And how incredibly different we are in some ways, especially it seems like around communication and sometimes how we like to dance. But
I feel like men, they don't have the same blocks around being authentic, I feel like, as women do. It feels like
where they grew up.
Yeah, they were just brought up to be who they are and everyone accepted it. And whereas the women are more like what we're talking about, they're apologizing all the time for who they are.
It's true.
And so I think in this podcast, it's not that we're excluding men, but it's helping us be authentic so that then the male components can love us more fully, because we're actually being ourselves and not putting up all these false fronts and then getting upset when they can't love us. It's like, of course they can't love us if we're not being authentic.
Right. Well, who are we? It's like if we're pretending or pleasing or pretzeling or doing any of those things, then we're not really anybody to love, because we're not ourselves. We don't really have ourselves in the room. And I'm sure we're much more fun and engaging when we're ourselves.
Well, that's the great question. That's what we're talking about today is, who are we?
Who are we? We are holy fuck. So you might want to know why we chose that, because it's kind of funny. I don't even remember. Do you remember it just, Krista and I were riffing and somehow it popped out of someone's mouth. I don't remember. And if it's yours, Krista, you can have it.
I don't think it was. I don't even know where it came from. So it must have come from up above. I don't know.
Well, that's my theory about how all this stuff works. My theory is that it's in the collaboration, it's in the partnership that the beauty is found. And so we're doing all this stuff on our own, and then we're having this silly conversation. Next thing you know, one of us says, holy fuck, and we're both like, yeah!
Like, yeah, that's the podcast
That's
name.
it.
And
then
we're like, with it. And then something grabs hold of each of us, and it's like, the little seed of doubt gets put in there, or the little voice in our head's like, yeah, but if you put that podcast out on Facebook, your mom's going to see it, or your grandma's going to see it, or...
No, even my mom might see it.
Yeah.
My mom's 95, so yes. I doubt it, but she might.
Well, you know what? Once it's out there and someone says, hey, did you hear what your daughter said on her Holy Fuck podcast? And then she's like, what?
Okay, Krista, shut it down. We're done. I'm going home. We're not doing it.
Right.
Don't remind me of my mother listening to my Holy Fuck. Yeah. Done.
And look, this topic, this title of the podcast is really still up for debate. And that's part of what this first episode is about, is coming into more clarity about who we are. And this isn't just about our podcast, right? It's about our websites. It's about our businesses. It's about who we are to our children. I don't know if you find this, but even working with your clients, I know this is true for my clients. Everybody's going through this process of defining themselves, even if it's writing a job application, resume, taking pictures for their headshots. In a snapshot, you have to embody who you are, so you can put it out to the world. So it's in every marketing step you have to put out there for your businesses. It's for how you present yourself in your clothing as you show up to a job interview or to a date, right? And we go to these dates, it's all wrapped up in it. So the more we can talk about these topics and get clear on who we are, then we can obviously show up better in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I just wanted to say, Krista, on top of what you were saying then was, it fell out of my head. Oh crap, I hate when that happens. Wait. Oh, I know what it is. So you might be wondering how we got here, because Krista and I, we went to spiritual psychology school together, and we did consciousness, health, and healing. And we're this really cool healers, and I'm a minister and she's a mom, and we're both married and we're both good people. And
we're both divorced. But we got to add that in there, right?
Something happened. And one of the things that kept happening was we couldn't stop talking about sex. So we realized that maybe everybody else was having the same problem.
And then we ended up at dinner with a friend of ours who was, definitely in a different age demographic. We'll just say you're in your...
Me?
Yeah, in your...
Oh, I'm 58.
Okay, good. So I was going to let you announce that, and which is great. You're beautiful and amazing at 58. And I'm 45. And the young gal we were sitting with, she was more in her 30s. And as we, enjoyed the bottle of wine and the laughter, we realized that a lot of it was over sex and relationship and spirituality. And all three of us were experiencing the not exact, but very similar experiences in the dating world, sex world, parent world, friend world, but in completely different decades.
Yeah, it was so shocking to me. I was expecting this young, I would say 29-year-old, but maybe not, to be having completely different experiences, and not at all.
Mm-mm.
And I was even expecting Krista to be having different experiences. But since I'm newly liberated, we're all having the same experiences. And I got to say, it's working for us.
It's totally working for us, but it feels like it's being challenging for the men who are experiencing us. That's where because we're all on the same kind of path together. And, we were speaking that night as if the other person was saying our thoughts, right?
Right.
But what I'm noticing is when we go out and are interacting with these men, all of a sudden they're looking at us a little bit like we're aliens.
Yeah, actually, completely my experience. And one of the biggest things that's shocking to me for men, and I think we've trained them badly, so I think that's part of what's happening.
I didn't realize we were able to train them.
Unfortunately, I think that's the worst thing that we could do is train them. But what I was recognizing, I don't have the mic near me. I bet that's not good. What I was recognizing was that the idea that we would want freedom versus to tie them down or be possessive of them was pretty shocking and not their experience. And so many times I feel like the most shocking thing I can do is say, okay, bye, and leave it. And it just isn't what
you mean leave the relationship? Is that what you're talking about?
Or just leave the moment. Just say, we've had sex. This was fun. I love you. That was cool. Bye. Like, not like I love you forever. I love you right now. I love you while I'm loving you, right? It's like, I wrote this really crazy text message to this guy the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
how did he write? But it said something like, do you have those moments when we're together when you actually experience yourself in this field that's beyond like a personal loving, and it's into this kind of quantum, powerful, spiritual, amazing place? And I definitely got an affirmative answer.
Oh, and what was the answer?
He doesn't express himself. I can't give you the words exactly, but it was definitely a yes.
So he was willing to step into that field with you.
Yeah. And he already had, like, he was willing to acknowledge that he had. And I thought that was super cool.
Now, do you think it's because, for instance, he's older and had more experience, so he's able to step in there with you? Whereas if somebody in their, young or late 20s, 30s has that experience with a woman, if they're ready? I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think it's two things. I think one is the man has to be open to having those kinds of experiences. So that's one thing. But I do think that the woman brings a lot of it with her. If we're super present and super enjoying ourselves and not caught up in what our butt looks like or any other part of our body for that matter. And at my age, it gets very interesting.
Please.
But
I'm just curious because we were talking, I was talking about how I'm noticing the men feel challenged at meeting us where we're at. But I think they're wanting to. They're wanting to. It's like they're being almost like we're pushing them, and they can, I don't know, pushing them I want to say pushing them too fast, but
might be.
So that's where
I think men need a lot of space. And I think they need a lot of respect for that space and a lot of honor in that space. I think they deserve it. And we're pushy as shit.
Speak for yourself now.
Okay, I'm pushy. I'm like, I want it now. I want it now. This is not going to be a shock to my family. This part of the program, they're completely behind.
Yeah.
I think men need to have space to be spiritual, and they don't even necessarily know they're being spiritual. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the younger generation, what I'm noticing is the men are definitely more there. Even like the women. I mean, just think about it. The young girl we were sitting with, she just knew stuff that has taken us so many more years to get, right? And she was already kind of coming in with that information.
Right. That's true.
My
That's
daughter,
true.
she's 16. She's there. Her thoughts are definitely beyond where I was at 16 and also very close to where I am now. So they're coming in with such a high level of consciousness. Maybe that's just here in California. I don't know. But.
Well, we got to say some people are coming in with some high levels of consciousness. But know, one thing, Krista, though, it goes back to that conversation is your 16-year-old, our 29-year-old friend, and you at 45 and me at, 58. How did that happen? We're actually all tapping into the same energy stream. That's what we're talking about. It's like we're actually having the same experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, I mean, your 16-year-old daughter is probably not having all these experiences, at least that you know of, but it's still like something is definitely changing. And I don't know, I feel like men are changing as fast as we are.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I think that learning our language, like the language you have to learn is the language of like the pause.
Yeah.
Have I been talking for a really long time? Feels like you haven't been able to get a word in.
No, I'm looking at you. I want you to stay up on your mic.
Stay up on my mic.
Stay up on your mic.
I'm up on my mic.
And no, I think they want to go there with us. It's just I don't know, it's just uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable for all of us.
It is.
But I think, the men have been stuck in there, like this is their responsibilities and here's who they are in relationship. And the women have always, played their role. And now everything just feels like it's went and everyone's like, shit, like there's no rules.
Oh God, you're so right about that.
We're redefining it. And so everybody, I feel like I shouldn't say everybody. I'm floundering with the new paradigm because there's not a set track to follow. And so you and I in particular on the forefront of what that looks like to change.
Is forefront related to foreplay? Just checking.
Oh. Well, that might be another podcast.
I think it might be.
Well, now it's called, spiritual foreplay in relationship. And that's definitely what I'm seeking, because if I meet a man and I'm starting to have these conversations and he's having more, I'm going to say basic conversations, right? Just sports and news or whatever. It's like, that's not where I want to be. It's not how I'm going to connect with you. It's not how you're going to open my heart up to you. It's not going to make me want to jump in bed with you. I'm wanting spiritual foreplay in my relationship.
Wow, that's cool. You know what? I kind of like both. I think guys are so sexy when they talk about sports. I love when they just sit around and talk. So when we show up at a bar together, we'll know who's guys who. Right. Right. And what I don't like is burping and farting. I'm sorry. It's still, you know what? Okay. Can I say the thing I shouldn't say?
Sure. Of course.
I don't really even like to share a bathroom with a guy.
My mind can't jump that quickly from that to that. It's like, I need some distance. Well, going back to the authenticity, because we are going to have to figure out at some point who we are, but at what point,
is that another bathroom joke?
I feel like in life, we wait until we feel like we've finally figured out who we are in order to launch ourselves or put ourselves out there.
So true.
And I don't know about you, but the last year of my life has been about realizing, God, I will never know who I am because it keeps changing so quickly. And if I wait until I really know or I'm 100% sure, then I'll never do anything.
I'll be dead.
So last year when I put my website up and had to write the bio, and it was so fucking scary to put it out there. And I put it out there way before it was even ready. I should actually say Spirit put it out there because it somehow got launched on Facebook and people started liking something. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? What button did I push? How come people can see this? And it was like, to me, that was spirit talking, saying like, just put it out there. Then someone looked at me and said, you can always change it. And it was like this light bulb went up in my head, like, oh, they're like, just because that's what is up there today, if you feel that way tomorrow, then you get back on there and you edit a sentence or you change the wording. And so it's been great to go through this year, see where the website started, see where it was 6 months from them, and then even to where I am now. And it's like, wow, it's really like the documentation of how much I've shifted this year and moved into like being okay with who I am. It was the process of, I'm a life coach. Now I'm a soul-centered life coach. Then I'm a spiritual life coach. Now I'm a spiritual healer.
I saw you claim that. I saw you claim that healer word.
But remember a year ago, I wanted to put spiritual healer and I was just like, I just can't do that yet. My family will freak out, or my friends who knew me back when will be like, what? It has been a journey to own that.
Huge journey. And I did notice you claiming it the other day, and I was really excited when I saw it. Like, yes, you are.
Because the more I got closer to saying it, I noticed the more opportunity, the more conversations, the more people were drawn to that aspect of me because I was actually saying it out loud.
Totally.
But I was waiting for the opposite. It was like I was waiting for people to see me that way, to then be it. And it just doesn't work that way, right? We have to do it and claim it first for other people to take us seriously that way.
Yeah, everything's projection, right? So it's like, if we don't take ourselves seriously, how on earth is anyone else going to take us seriously, right? It's like, if we don't believe in ourselves as healers, I got to tell you, there probably isn't a person on this planet who, with the right intention, isn't involved in healing other people. Even, when you just look your friend in the eye and they're sad about something and you just say, I'm sorry, it adds something to their healing. It gives them a chance to let go. And then those of us who have taken the time to get more sophisticated about our training and to get more ways to deliver healing to people. I guess I want to jump in with one thing right now. When I think about healing, it always is really powerful to me is the word healer can be so confusing. And I think what it really means in our culture is someone who's willing to stand in the space that it takes to heal. And that really what the work is to hold that space so profoundly for people and so deeply that they can find us there and they do their own healing in our presence. So the job of the healer is to create a field that is so deliciously, this is a great word, fecund, fertile.
I'm like, what does that mean?
Isn't that a great word? That's like a Shakespeare word. It's like, it just means it has so much juice in it, has so much possibility that people can come and enter into that space and feel their wholeness and their fullness, not mine. Because
let's be clear, everybody, what you said earlier is the truth. Everybody has the capacity to be a healer. We are all healers. It's not that it's a special skill, but it is it's an awareness.
And I would say, Krista, I do think some people have more access and have chosen to have more access.
Yes.
And have been guided to have more access. And I think you and I are people like that. Mm-hmm. And we tend to have different kinds of lives that accommodate a lot of space and holding space and being space. And that might not even make sense to people. But yeah, basically we're empty, but we're full. And we just have to live with the fact that we don't know what that means.
We're learning what that means.
Yeah.
But if we waited to know what it means before sharing it,
right.
then again, we would never share it. So it's not like we are sitting here in this podcast and we have some magical wand that...
well, I do have a magic wand, but...
I can't wait to see it. I'm like, we're on our journey. We're every day getting up and practicing holding that space and reading books and taking classes and having conversation and making it a part of our world. So of course it's a muscle that's going to grow, just as if I was working out every day, getting up and doing my practice and eating well and all that those muscles are going to grow. Well, you do work out, I don't work out, but the muscles I'm strengthening right now are my mental, spiritual, emotional muscles, and it's creating a stronger pathway connection point for me.
Absolutely. You're doing beautifully too.
Thank you.
And, speaking of beauty, as Krista said, I'm the one obsessed by beauty.
Katherine's the beauty.
Wait, what? Okay. So Krista is very, very beautiful, but not obsessed with beauty. I'm obsessed with beauty in all its forms. So I can't stand when I can't make something beautiful, including humans and including their impression of themselves. And probably what distresses me the most is when people don't see their magnificence and their beauty. And I will do it anywhere and anytime and any place. I will show you how beautiful you are, and I will tease it out of you, especially those people who really don't believe it. Because it's such a tragedy for me. My voice just started to quiver. It's such a tragedy for me when people don't believe in their beauty. And I mean that, of course, with their radiance and their light and their wholeness and their holiness showing through from the inside.
Right. Not just their physical beauty, but their...
No, their physical beauty is always on the tails of all that other stuff. If we just knew that, if we just were willing, it would be such a fuller experience of life. So that's why I say I consider it a tragedy when people don't know their beauty. I'm not just talking about women. I'm talking about men. There's plenty of men that don't know their beauty. And yeah.
Well, last night someone asked me, what is a beauty alchemist? Because I was sharing your bio with them. So what do you say to that?
Well, alchemy is something where you take a raw material and you turn it into something amazing, right? And so I think maybe you show its properties, like you get it down. So what I would say about beauty alchemy is that I don't do anything but reflect back to you the beauty that you already are. And that what that transforms inside you, that's where the alchemy is happening, is inside you. In Raw Naked Beauty, which we can talk about another time, but I have a thing called Raw Naked Beauty where we show women their beauty in a very, very intensely beautiful way. And the experience that women have between the beginning and the end of a day is transformational to the degree that I would never have believed it was possible, and never goes back to the place it was before the day happened.
And that's healing.
Super beautifully. And they're doing the work. I'm holding the space.
Well, that's what I meant by it's not a magic wand, but it feels like magic when you witness it.
Yeah.
When you see someone over one day go from having their experience of not feeling beautiful or not I don't know, you can explain that better, but just that's magic. That shift, that healing, moving from a negative belief to a positive belief. It's healing.
Yeah, it is. And moving themselves from the first layer of their outside appearance to the deepest layer of who they are. And when you really get to see what shows up when you bring yourself into your deepest layer of who you are, I got to say something here. You ready?
Say it.
Fucking holy.
Holy fuck, what?
Yeah. Holy fuck, it's fucking holy.
Yeah.
It is. It's holy. It's like it takes your breath away.
And because when they heal that belief about themselves, they're not only healing their own shit, they're healing their child's shit, their mother's shit, their sisters, they're sharing, and it's like it just ripples out.
It's true.
I love it.
What Krista's forgotten is I hate the word shit, though.
I know you do.
Back to the bathroom thing. No, but it is. We're healing.
That's because you like to make the world beautiful. So
what?
You hate the word shit because you like to, make the world beautiful.
That's true. Yes. I don't like stinky stuff.
If you could shit flowers, then you'd be all over.
I would like people to clean up so that we get to use that substance for fertilizer for bigger things and better things.
To fertilize flowers.
Yes. So I get to have my beauty and you get to have your shit.
Well,
but get rid of your shit because it's getting in the way of your beauty.
Is that going to be the title instead? Beauty or shit? Beauty and shit?
Your shit is beautiful. Okay, ladies. What do you think, Krista?
I think that bringing that beauty concept back around to authenticity, I'm just going to keep bringing it back to authenticity because that's kind of the topic I feel like, of today is the process of finding yourself. And whether that's through going to a workshop and working on beauty, or whether it's, having a conversation with your partner and stepping into a more authentic relationship with them. It's just authenticity is in so many moments of our day, even of the decisions we make in the restaurant we go to, or the movie we choose, or the books we choose. Everything is a choice that we get to choose to either align with our highest self, or we get to choose to kind of go with our basic self.
Yeah, it's really true. I love that what you were just saying, honey. That's so precious. And I was just thinking about how every single choice we make contributes to who we are. And if we go to the thing we don't love for someone else, not because we're doing them a favor, but because we're pretending,
right,
have an impact of pretending. And we'll have, every time we layer pretending on pretending, we lose a bit of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the good news is that every time we make an authentic decision, we lose a piece of the pretending and we regain ourselves. So it's not like a static process where you go to hell or you don't. It's in every moment. We're either going to hell or we're going to heaven. It's kind of a choice. Don't wait.
Well, you're either choosing to love yourself or not love yourself.
Yeah. And
every
sometimes
decision.
It doesn't look like that though, right? Sometimes it looks like, fuck it. I'll just go to that stupid movie that makes me stay up all night scared.
Right.
Because he wants to, or because even my son sometimes wants to see stuff. And I'm like, oh God.
And we do it because we think we're loving the other person by doing that. But ultimately there's usually a bit of resentment afterward toward that other person for quote unquote making us go to the movie, right? And they didn't make us, we chose. But in that moment, we did not love ourselves to the highest. And we ultimately didn't love them either, because we are putting them in a situation where they're kind of playing the bad guy in our story.
Right. And then we get to resent them and hate them and not love them anymore.
Right.
Who wins here? No one. No.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on for today. How do you feel?
I had one more thing to say, but then we will end.
Yeah.
I think the point of what you said, Krista, which is so powerful, and I do want to make this point, is that you must come first in your own life. And people struggle with that because traditionally in religion, we teach that you treat others well, you give to others, you do that kind of thing. But the truth is that we each individually, I'm going to use a word that's going to push some buttons here, so be careful.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
God. You are God. You are the light. Krista, you are Absolutely. The beingness of heaven. You are the one. You are the consciousness. You are the infinite intelligence. You are whatever you call that beingness that lives within you. And that means that you are as valuable as any other beingness, and your responsibility is to you. So your job is you first, then others as you. But if anybody tries to tell you that it shouldn't be that way, please listen very carefully and listen inside you and see what you actually think. And see if it resonates that you actually are here for you to care for first. And then you'll help and do what it takes for everyone else.
Love it.
I love it too. And I love you, my friend. This is such a gas. How old is that?
A gas.
Yes. When I was a child, we used to say things like,
I didn't like to talk about
gas.
All right, my friend.
I love you all very much. I love you, Krista, and I will see you all soon.
All right. Holy fuck, we did it.
Holy fuck, we did it.
Bye. Bye. We want to connect with all you lovers of sex, spirituality, and all things holy, but unfortunately, you've got to make the first move, baby. That means heading over to holyfuckpodcast.com to find our new episodes and all the juicy deets about Katherine and Krista. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Holy Fuck Podcast to get up-to-date info on our new episodes and current happenings. And if you are seeking a more one-on-one experience, check out Krista's offerings at KristaKimCoaching.com and visit KatherineMcClellan.com to see what's shaking in Katherine's world. Your spiritual evolution will thank you.